Man. What the fuck going on?
Shit where you live, yeah, like that. One, we can help you. Two, we can allow you to help yourself. And three, we can have you replaced.
Hey! See, I really been popping my shit on a whole nother level. You playing get sent to the death. These bitches been on me, I swear they keep calling my phone. I'm like, hold on, let me check the scale. If she get time of day, then I had a good place, so I'm back at the spot. She getting big like a press. These niggas be soft on the bitch, but turned up off the perk. Boy, I'm silent and stand on whatever. See, I really been popping my shit on a whole nother level. You playing get sent to the death. These bitches been on me, I swear they keep calling my phone. I'm like, hold on, let me check the scale. If she get time of day, then I had a good place, so I'm back at the spot. She getting big like a press. These niggas be soft on the bitch, but turned up off the perk. Boy, I'm silent and stand on whatever. Hey, bitch, I'm popping like corn on the kettle. A light nigga reaching my chain, he get hit with this metal. In fact, shit, we on the new levels. I put triple D on my back and my foot on the pedal. I'm chasing your body.
Somebody tried to kill me today. They tried to shoot me in the head to take this. They got my wedding ring and they got my necklace. Yeah. What happened to my windshield? Would be hard out here sometimes. Holla, what fuck are they yelling? DP. Well, you finna get DP'd, homie. They finna give you a put off for all that bullshit. Oh, big boy. Your mama. Ooh. Hell yeah, it was the most terrible setup ever. Hell yeah, I was over my people's house, and I had a disagreement with one of the gentlemen over there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, two big old tall white boys show up with a Mexican chick. They sit across from each other, and it was like these white boys, they were there to either buy something or sell something. I don't know what or which. They got to doing shit that I don't know. That boy didn't have the heart. Man, I ran 3 miles fast as I could. Hell yeah. Bottom of my feet looking like hamburger. I was in my socks. Shit, yeah. And you know, the whole time I'm thinking, if this fool even knew, man, you blow my head out, you be doing me a favor, homie. I know you ain't there to do me no favors. So, I had ran down a couple of alleys, jumped over. I'm coming back up the way. By this point, I'm disoriented with the neighborhood in the alley system because I have never been in the alleys back there. I know the streets of the Grove, so I keep hearing tires. I'm like, man, these fools are trying to find me, and they were. So I'm running, and I see two younger Mexican cats. One of them I recognize. It's Miguel. I'm like, bro, what's that, bro? I need some help. And he didn't recognize me because I had sweat pouring everywhere. I had been sort of like mildly, you can't even see it now, pistol whipped. Or I don't even think he pistol whipped me. He just was trying to put the gun in my face and kind of hit the side of my forehead. And, I burnt off, and I waited, and Miguel and them, they brought out a fillet knife and a pipe wrench, and I said, I gotta go back down there, man. My people are down there. So we get down there and I take that big ass wrench and I thump on the door with the wrench. Bang, 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 bang. And I step back. And I was met with nothing but, how do you say, what would you say? Condescending. I was met with, a condescending tone. They were saying, well, you must have done something to make him do that, whatever. And I couldn't even at that time register what I was hearing, what I was listening to. And it became very clear. They're like, man, just come in the house. I was like, nah, I'm not coming in that house. I said, man, go get my shit. Or I'm calling the fuck, I'm gonna snitch you motherfuckers out. They went and got most of everything, but they didn't bring my necklace out. They didn't rob me for my necklace. They just didn't bring it back outside with the rest of my shit. So after I talked to the feds and got a Fed report number and got the police report number, sent them down around yonder, my friend, my quote-unquote friend, she texted me, and hey, I gotta tell you, Rain, thank you for introducing me to Shelby. God damn, I think I'm in love, baby. Straight up. She's so, she is everything most women aren't. She is just, first of all, she's built like a brick shithouse. Secondly, well, I don't want to say too much, but man, she got a lot of crazy texts from you talking about all kind of different shit. You need to be careful what the fuck you say, Rain. For real, baby. You probably gonna end up in the penitentiary. That being said, boy, be careful what you ask for, right? Be careful what you ask for, because sometimes you just might get it. So you gotta try. Hey, tomorrow I gotta go turn myself in on a walk-in. Right, I already paid the bond, already paid the lawyer. I just gotta show up 3:30 a.m., book in, right, and then process the bond, and then book out. They say that takes about 12 hours. Hey, if anybody's in here acting stupid like your mom, fuck your mom. Hell yeah. Fuck your dad for letting your mom do it too. Fuck all of them. So, DP, bro, you know that lady was saying, you know that lady told you whole motherfucking me hustle, bro. She told me where you live at, that you sell crack, all that shit, homie. Hell yeah. Seem kind of counter-conducive to do 10 years in TDC and then come home and start selling crack just because you want to be cool and shit. Because you ain't making no fucking money. Look at how you living, bro. Look at your car. Look how you dress. Come on, bro. Anyways, I guess I want to talk about expectations for just a little bit. It's what we expect, whether we've already laid out our expectations or maybe we haven't. We just have a unspoken set of expectations. So you know, unspoken set of expectations. And I had this expectation that, you know, my wife, my whorish wife, would she would shine. This would be her day to shine. Hey, yeah, Krystle, somebody took that bullshit ass wedding ring. It was lovely. Somebody took it. I guess they needed it more than me. I didn't want the motherfucker no more anyways. Just couldn't bring myself to pawn it. So it belongs to the street, just like you. Fucking tramp. So, expectations. I expected I expected for a hooker bitch today to shine. I expected a hooker bitch to jump outside of her character and be something she seldom could be. I really actually was living in a fathom world where I thought baby Luca, I might get to hear his voice today. I might get to tell him how much I love him. Instead, worked on this damn case. It is not fucking looking good for you. Like, yeah, like you're gonna fuck around and have a prostitution charge you're gonna be fighting. I'm pretty sure of it. And if that's not the case, well, remember they took your daughter from you for pissing clean, but admitting that you did drugs. I just sent every motherfucking hooker text and email between me and you to the lawyers and the DAs in Collin County. It's you admitting you're a hooker and asking me how did I get this number, and you'll call me back because you've got to go do a trick. No, I'll tell you what you are. You are a trick bitch. It's only it's me. It's only one me. So any dude you ever fuck with in life, he don't give a fuck about you, bitch. He don't give a standard, good Caucasian fuck about you. Now that being said, when you lose custody of this boy, how do you explain it at work? How do you tell the people at work, I've lost my third child? And they might say to you, well, how many children have you had, bitch? You've had 3. You're shooting 100%. God damn it. We need to get you on the fucking on the practice team for the Bulls. Pretty sure you could help them three-peat again. I mean, you're a three-peater. Shit. Fuck. So, I thought to myself when that man was clicking that gun behind my ear, trying to blow my fucking brains out, I said, you know what? I don't hope he doesn't. I wish a motherfucker would. I wish you would. Your uncoordinated ass. You couldn't even hang with me 3 steps, bro. 3 steps? Yeah. So we officially dwindling this YouTube down to just the nuts and bolts. Moderators, they keep fleeing like criminals on shit. Yeah, we had to can Lily. Love you, baby, but you want some extra weird shit. Take that shit down back around fizzling them. You gonna tell me shit like, fine, I'm just not gonna help anymore, looking ass. Okay, that's all I wanted. You ain't have to threaten me. You know, these fucking weird ass YouTube people, they're here for you until you fucking need them. And then when you need them, they don't want to help no more. They want to take their ball and go home. Take your motherfucking ball and go home, man. Nobody give a fuck about that. I do appreciate you during your time of service. You've been dishonorably discharged. Take your ass to the Navy with Fizzle or the Air Force. I don't give a fuck where you go, but you gotta get the fuck from around me. That's for sure. You know, they always use the money as a weird thing. All really hasn't. You know, I'm guessing at some point when that goes over with her and Nicolina. Now I have to say I've never met more pathetically embracing cuck. Bitch, you a cuck. Hell yeah. You are a fucking cuck. Hell yeah. That bitch is mad because every problem she's ever had, I had them first. And I identified them first, and I moved around from them first. It isn't until months, almost a year later, Nicolina tunes her fucking hearing aid in and has the same problems, but tries to make them seem like they're authentically hers and not a big fucking fat stiff. I told you so, bitch. Bitch, you only possess power in the minds, in the hearts of people that have nothing else going on in their life except waiting on the next fucking lie you tell, bitch. For real. So the expectation. The thing about expectations is we make expectations in our lives when we are at different, we're at different buy-in values. We're at different sales values, right? You buy in at this amount and you just sell out at this amount. But meanwhile, right? Meanwhile, kind of just always in the market for negotiation, right? So I want to negotiate. Go negotiate my way on down out of this bullshit. And I make negotiations with myself a lot of times when I'm feeling down and out. That's when I might let a Nicolina back around, or something to that effect. Let some loser back around me, because while I'm feeling sorry for myself, I also feel sorry for them. So I end up letting losers back around. And when you let losers back around, well, what the fuck you think? If you let losers back around, you're gonna fucking lose, indubitably, right? So when you start letting the rerun losers back in, and you start seeing the bottom drop out of life, don't question yourself why. Reaffirm to yourself why. You know why. Because you letting ain't shit motherfuckers back around you. Hell yeah. Although there is something oddly phenomenal about Nicolina and her real lack of personality, it's that there's something about her that for a while seemed very nurturing to me, and that I do still to this very day appreciate the nurturing that she did do, even though it comes with clauses. Right? Even not genuine. It's just like using a Phillips screwdriver for the job that a flathead does. It's not the preferred tool, but it will get the job half-assed done. And that's, sometimes that's good enough. Sometimes feeling good is good enough, right? So though I'm tired of living, I've done something to my knee in all the melee. I mean, I probably haven't run 3 miles in years. I really discounted myself. I told somebody, man, I'm gonna run fast, hard, and for a very short distance. Man, I ran the first, second, third, and fourth leg of the 17,000 meter relay. I was running. Hell yeah. And I had to stop myself. I'm like, hold on, bro. You've been battling with intrusive thoughts of certain things. And now all of a sudden it's somebody right here willing to do it for you, and you're running away? Why are you running away? I think that my mind and my legs were disassociated this afternoon. And you know how I know that my spirit is, my soul is healing. And that's because after I done all the cop calling I did, I felt sorry for the people that put that all together. I mean, because the 4 best Mexicans these 4 know couldn't beat one sweaty white boy. It's fucking sad. I mean, I thought teamwork was gonna make the dream work. That fool said, "Give me your money." He tried to shoot me in the head, and I punched that fat boy right in his busted teeth, and he dropped that pistol. That fool. Now, he wasn't NFL big. He was just, I mean, he was like 6'4", 6'5". He's really obese. And he doesn't know how to work a pistol. Like, homie, once you cock the bit, once you put one in the head and lock it, you're not moving that slide, homie. It is stuck. You got to undo the safety, bro. But you don't want to pull the slide back because you already got one in the head. If you do that, you're going to eject the one that's in there and just run another one back in there. And you probably gonna waste, well, the way you was handling it, 3 to 5 seconds. Just long enough for me to jack you in your shit. Just long enough for me to punch you in your fucking, right in your fucking dick sucker, homie. Oh, shit. So, come up here and see if Sosa's up here. So, you know, the schedule this week is absolutely designed by a law enforcement agency that has no idea quite yet that they are, in fact, helping a hooker. He wanted to file the felony warrant in the same week that I had court appearance for a harassing charge and a divorce. They really want me to default on this divorce. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. Unfortunately, what I'll do is I'll run away from scary white boys with guns every day if that means that I win. Right? I mean, I don't know of one legitimate human being other than a beta male like White Boy Lockdown Radio that's been beat by a hooker. Especially a slow-running Mexican hooker. Now, had she been born on the other side of things, that bitch may have a little pep in her step. Now, there's no peps in the steps. There's only herpes and HPV. Moving forward. So, subpoenas are lining up. I got my fingers crossed. I don't have to pay for not one or even half of one motion to suppress. Those do not come stock option. If I need a motion to suppress, it costs me $5,000 every time. So right now I'm at $15,000. I'm at $15,000. This fucking bitch has never even seen $15,000 all at one time. And you know what she did? She sold her body to get out of a divorce with me while she's in a relationship with another man. That's what fucking simple hookers do. That's what they do. Meanwhile, you took 15,000 motherfucking dollars out your son's mouth, bitch. Can you imagine the steam that comes from between your ears, bitch. It has to look something like the steam that comes from a big pile of elephant shit when it's taken at the right time of the morning. Boy, I mean to tell you. Wagwan. I don't know. Yeah, you'll cut your pennies in eighths, but when it comes to mine, you like to spend them 15,000 at a time. That's okay. Because this is going to be the fight you was looking for. Whatever you got your new guy telling you, I don't care. Because you cannot win. You cannot win. Sweet one, you need to get the fuck out of here. This, it means you're not welcome. Get the fuck out of here. You see Nicolina's bitch ass put her out too. Yeah, I got a warrant, bitch. What the fuck you gonna do about it? Quit asking stupid questions. We got a parrot. We got a parrot in here. It's repeating every motherfucking thing I say. What's up, gang? Yeah. Bitch, what do you got? You got a lease house and a leased car. When I run through this money, I just go get some more. All right? I just go, maybe I have to sell something. I'd rather walk because I sold my car to fix this situation than ever have to even think about confronting your vagina without a prophylactic. I swear. Your fucking vagina is a fucking sinkerator. You know the things that got the switch up on the fucking on the countertop. One of them, bitch. I mean, you must have married an old retired pimp. Because we can look at you and see you belong to the streets. Yes, belong to the streets. Hell yeah. And I have to be quite honest with you. When I found the mother lode of texts, you know, that shit really, it was like reliving it all again. I've been reliving it. I got over it. Well, I got through it. Right? I got through it. And then the neighbor said, you're selling your funk box again. So I'm right thrust back into it. And I was beginning to make some headway. And then the lawyer asked me to spend what remaining time I have outside of jail. I do want to tell you, it's going to be hard to sell radios and shit when you got a selling pussy charge. Selling radios goes out the window when you get in trouble for selling that fucking pussy. Oh, what a fool I am. I should have paid for it like the rest of them. Then I could have sent you home when I was done with you. I didn't. I did not do that. I mean, if I have to be quite frank with you, I would say that I've probably laid down with 6 or 8 women in the past couple of months that are light years better than you. Character, even in their careers, right? But I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready to fall victim to another lousy bitch. You know? Like, the women I decide to mess with better not come back with anything but good news. They come back with some shit that's subject to break out of itself. No, you cannot ride this ride. You're not allowed. Yeah. Hey, Don Wells, man, fuck you, bro. Candace, fuck you too. I hope both of you take nothing but dick in hell. For real. Candace gets the real small ones. Don gets the real big ones. That's the kind of thing White Boy Lockdown Radio would say, wouldn't it? in some straight man's life. Hell yeah. Yeah, homie, you should probably learn how to run in flip-flops with your training wheels on before you try to go fucking with a real one. For real, bro. And I was thinking kind of out loud to myself after I ran away from the dude that didn't know how to work the thuka. Man, FYI, man, next time you motherfuckers hand that fool a thuka, make sure he knows how to work the bitch. Hell yeah. Funny thing is they all kind of work the same. It's just they're little different colors. Sometimes the levers are, positioned in different ways, different angles. They work the same, right? So if the guy ever says on the ride home, oh yeah, and the police, they're gonna put a preservation motion on that phone. So big boy, what that means, bro? The text. Cause your sour ass, you were not you weren't doing no phone calls. You're an idiot, bro. You should have took your bitch ass outside. Instead of farting in the house, you should have took your ass outside and farted and made them private phone calls. Instead, what you did was you text. And when you text, I know in your simple mind, you think when you delete them, they go away, right? Right. They do not go away. What they do is they jump out of your reach. That's all they do. They jump out of your reach. And now they're accessible for everyone else except for you. Now, we're not gonna blame this on the fact that you made bad decisions in the late 2010s and spent like 2 or 3 years in the colon poke, right? I don't find that admirable, right? I don't want to pin a medal on your chest because you did some dumb shit out here and then were forced to go in there and get involved in like make-believe superhero groups. Fucking Tongo Blast out here. That shit that they have in the fucking penitentiaries, it doesn't survive with real air. It has to have penitentiary air. There's only something there. And you get out here and you realize that, you let other men shrink wrap your two-hole for honey buns for nothing. Hell yeah. I mean to tell you. So, expectations. Well, I mean, I actually expect... Oh, that's right. I actually expect that if anybody else would have had to have went through that... And you know what that reminds me? Krystle. Tomorrow, after I get out of jail, I'm going to spend all fucking day with the Richardson police getting all the information about when I reported you for bringing those 2 people over there to shoot me in the back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I will take everything from you. Legally. Take everything from you. It's your own words that's gonna be highlighted on those fucking machines we used to look at when we were kids. They put the plastic over it and they can write on it with the shit. What was that? I forget what it wasn't a projector, it was some other word. But yes. Your mom is married to a guy that beat the teeth out of his wife's face. So they can't get Luca. Right? That's right. Ty and Laura, they won't be getting him either. Because I've already reported how they let Christian live. Fuck, only you are capable of fucking up 2 of your sons. Ty and Laura will never get that opportunity. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Ever. my mom is a fucking ER nurse, right? My dad's a fucking 2 conflict hero. We spent a lot of time yesterday in the deposition about you and my dad, actually. Me and my lawyer are trying to figure out a cute pet name for your vagina, because we don't want to say vagina over and over and over, and you can't say pussy or box in court. So I think we're going to call it beef. It's because it sort of looks like roast beef. Now, with that being said, from here on out, I don't give a fuck what happens to you. I don't care. I do want to say that I am not so obtuse to think that I could have had the very same son with a different woman. Now, I understood that I could only get my son with a bitch like you. Only something so great could come from something so fucking polluted. I bet you secretly the new boy toy that isn't going to be around for much longer. You watch. Hey, how's Natalie and Taylor faring? They probably hated that I told them at 11 o'clock at night. It's probably going to be hard to find a piss cleaner for cocaine, but they need to try to find one because CPS is on the way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're helping you prostitute, aren't they? They finding you tricks? Is that what they're doing? I mean, look at it. You at least getting something, right? You getting something by getting rid of me. It's really like the first time you've sold your body for a payoff. Nothing like when you were 15 car hopping at Sonic's and giving your mouth away to a 60-year-old man for a cell phone. Yeah. Like somewhere, this bitch had a dream that selling pussy is the way to go. No. But it's bred in your genetics because your mom was a dope whore too, right? Ask your dad, Jerry. Ask Lucky. Your mom was a dope whore. She was called to be the third wheel in a three-way, and then she snuck back in the door, took your dad from his wife, married him, divorced him shortly thereafter, and then became best friends with the woman he ran off. Who the fuck is your mom? I'll tell you who she is. That bitch ain't shit. She lives in fucking squalor. You're gonna live just like her. You're gonna end up marrying some motherfucker that stocks at Target too. Yeah. Spent 2/3 of the life he's lived already in a single wide. Now, I'm saying there's nothing wrong with a single wide. But when you can see the ground when you pee, there's something wrong with that. For real, man. I got no love for you. I got nothing for you. But what's strange is I'd have gave you 20,000. And you don't even know that you fucked off that. You fucked that right off. Probably about 9 months ago, I initiated you in the conversation of trying to work amicably for this boy. Now, you didn't understand it. When I said amicably, it means let me give you more money than you've ever seen at one time, probably even on TV. For you to put you a down payment on something. For you to actually buy something instead of lease the same fucking car that you're just tearing up. Look at all the fucking dents all over that thing. Oh yeah, I made a claim on your insurance too because somebody hit my car and ran. That's the going rate, right? So I figured, well, you wanted to take me off the insurance, I'm gonna jack it up a whole bunch. I also got a great deal. I got the fucking deductible all the way down to $250. You believe that? Holy shit. $250 fucking dollars. I'm gonna get the whole thing painted, new windshield, all on your dime. Hell yeah, all on your dime. Then what I'm gonna do tomorrow after I get out of jail, I'm gonna take all these same emails of you admitting that you're a hooker, and I'm gonna send them to the corporate office where you work. Because you're not even supposed to have that job. You got that job based upon a word that doesn't really necessarily apply here, but it's nepotism, right? You got a job because a lady likes you when you used to work with dogs. She never seen you work with children. Oh, Jesus. Or men that have social anxiety and buy pussy. She's a fucking crack shot with Johns. She knows a lot of men, but all their names are John. Hell yeah. If that bitch got the name John tattooed on her, it would constitute recognizing the legendary, I don't know, what was it, 600 men? So if you hookered for 10 months and you slept with 5 a day, holy shit. Boy, we sure have fucked a lot of people, haven't we, Krystle? God damn it. We sure have. See, you've been running from the state of your vagina your whole life because of how it looks and how it is. And what you did was you gave your vagina the front row seat at your menagerie. This is your menagerie. We're doing this all for you. Doing it all for you. Because I understand now that it would be better for my son, in my opinion, to go into state custody temporarily than to be with his hooker mom. What up, gang? I won't question the professionals. They're the professionals. Now, you are a professional, but it isn't at anything good. Yep. I mean, shit, you was a pretty good shot at getting tricked out of fucking for money. In the very beginning, she just couldn't get the cart behind the horse. So she kept sleeping with these men who would say, yeah, as soon as we're done, I'll go to the safe and get the money. And then they would have sex with you for free, grab you by your beautiful hair, and drag you outside of their house after beating you up and tell you if you want to call the police, go ahead. But because you're a hooker, you never did. But you also never really learned. You have to bait the hook before you throw the hook in the water. They've been just throwing bare hooks and expecting to catch anything. And you did catch some shit, didn't you? It's crazy. You probably wore a condom more with your husband than you did all the Johns in the world. That's sad, man. For you. For me, I don't give a fuck. That's what I got to tell myself. I just don't give a fuck. I want to tell you that I apologize for the many affairs I had before we were married. I was immature. I felt like way to win was to fuck other women and come home and lay down with you and never mention a word. That's how I won. It's not how I won. It's how I lost. But I didn't lose you. You were lost before you came to me. You came to me like a hooker. You came to me wanting to trade sexual favors for drugs. You know what your famous line is? You never fuck on the first date. except for when they've got 50 bucks. Hell yeah, her ads used to be 50% Latina, 50% white, 100% knockout. What that means is you could fuck for 50 or she'll suck for 50, but to get both, you gotta have 100. Yeah. The love of my life, you could purchase both ends, the rooter and the tutor, for $100. I should have just purchased you for $100 and then sent you back to the pimp. That's what I should have done. But then I wouldn't have Luca. And Luca is worth as much to me disbanded as he is with me every single day. It's worth it to me. Hey, Survivor, if I gave a fuck what you thought, I'd be over in your channel telling you what you thought. Otherwise, like, keep it to yourself or get the fuck out of here. For real, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you think. You could be sorry, and then you could be apologetic. Why don't you try being apologetic? So you think because you put Survivor in your name, you can run around and just flex your opinion like a trapezoid? Man, going on. Nobody care about that shit. You'd have probably surrounded yourself with a few other little subscriber people like yourself. Maybe it's just you talking to yourself. That gives a fuck about what you think. I don't give a fuck about what you think. I've never seen you here before now. So take your ass home. But fuck what you think. I'm happy you survived though. I'm a survivor too, did you know that? I'm a survivor too. So, Carl, bro, I love you, bro, but you got one, man. You got one, dude. I looked at that shit the other night, and that isn't the shit that friends do, bro. It's just not, bro. It's not what you do. And I didn't even bunk you in with the losers that I let reassociate in my life when it's like, okay, you absolutely will not beat them, but joining them doesn't sound good either. But getting back to the basics of, I can only want for me what I would also want for you. Now, the fine print clause to that is I want it for you. I don't give a fuck about Nicolina. I don't care what that bitch gets. I don't care. It wouldn't matter to me if she got everything she ever asked for or nothing at all. I would not give a shit. I do not care, Sam I am. And that's the thing, Nicolina thought I cared. You made it abundantly clear over and over and over that you were only using me diplomatically. And that's okay because I got some nurturing out of it that I needed. I did. You nurtured me to a place where I didn't feel so alone, right? No, I didn't feel so alone. It's because when I let you come back around, I regained all your enemies. Oh, and your fake ass supporters too. Some of them are fake, some of them aren't. I don't know. Yeah, you are the queen of making shit look like it's your idea. I'm sure almost 100%. You've never had a real genuine thought all of your own. No. It's your hearing aid's fault, right? That's your hearing aid's fault. Oh. So, although I will admit, you do have more worth to me than my wife. Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Eat it. No, 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 no. Looking ass. All that hooping and hollering, girl. Fuck all that yelling. So, I have a skip tracer and a private detective as well, getting all the information about your new boy toy. And we're gonna find probably all of his most favored people and show them how he's wasting his time with a hooker. Oh, Jesus. We're going all the way, baby. Just like AB said, but never delivered. I'm gonna bait you into a jail cell. I will. I will put you in a jail cell for selling your pussy. I swear. I will. Now, I will say that Carl, because he didn't do anything other than just be receptive and responsive to the, the conversations we were having. I never felt like Carl was going to do, a backstabber move until the other day. And then, I looked at it and it was like, it's kind of Carl trying to make a point, but at the same time, it's also Carl trying to put out information he thinks is this, that, or third, or trying to embarrass someone. And I get it, man. I get it. We're probably all of the same personality type to a degree that we really get off on toxic shit. And we actually probably really like it when we see someone hurting more than we know we've ever hurt, right? We find jubilee in that, right? We find, a festival. It's a really good time to watch someone else try to fight through things that may or may not have been laid down as a pavement of honesty, so to speak, right? Like you're doing something with an honest motive and an honest intention, and it turns out, it just falls off horribly. It's sort of like me and Fizzle. It's like to find out that we only had a business relationship. So I guess I paid you enough money to run around the internet and telling people we were best friends. Because as soon as that money stopped, people were like, well, how come you're not around Benny's anymore? What was your response? Your response was, it was a business relationship. And once the business is over, it's perfectly fine not to have anything to say to each other anymore. No, that's not really it either. I paid for your Christmas for your children, and even that had some bullshit in it. Remember that one time you were on vacation and you called me and you asked me to borrow $260 because one of your sons burnt up Kent's lawnmower? And I was like, what the fuck do your boys and that lawnmower have to do with me? And you were like, well, you said you were gonna offer me maybe some extra money on my vacation. Yeah, but not to manipulate me and lie to me about a fucking lawnmower, because you never spoke on that lawnmower ever again. And then I said, you know what? I'll give you one of the channel's whole checks for December for your family. You know what she did? She came and wanted November's check because November's check was going to be bigger. You snake bitch, you. Or what about that one time you claimed PayPal fucked you over $1,200 because they didn't take the money out and you thought you had an extra $1,200 somehow? And it sort of started to really smell like you wanted me to pay for that. But once you realized I wasn't, I never heard about that again. I guess it straightened itself out, didn't it? Thank God for that. Fucking, they got, you know, there's some intelligence at Cash App or PayPal. And thank God for my spending habits, right? My spending habits just saved you and Kent's ass this year. Where's my $600 fucking dollars at, man? Send me my $600 fucking dollars. How about that? Because you told all the girls you got 800 back. Remember the last 2 months of checks? You would send them to me and then I would send back money to you? Man, just do what the fuck you say you're gonna do and send me my $600. How about that? Or did your husband blow it on another smartwatch? Huh? I don't know. I'd like to say it's none of my fucking business, but it's all my fucking business. That's that silly shit some women say, right? Like they'll divorce a good man and then fucking shack up with a sex offender and then try to tell the good man that what's going on in her life has nothing to do with him. It's not his business. Bitch. Simple bitch you. I got a son. Now, as a side note, this son is the same son that probably before he doubles what age he is now is going to elect to live with me. I mean, because that's what this is all about, right? This is all about the very end, the middle of the end of the situation, but the middle of March, when every time you come to pick him up, he would cry and say he didn't want to go home with you and that he hated you. That's probably because you have some old dude sweating on top of you and he can hear it in the other room. And he just knows you're a whore already, I guess. I don't really know what it is. But I'll tell you this. It's going to be a hoot to see your face when the whole courtroom hears about you and my dad. I mean, I guess I could probably almost get away with any fucking thing other than 9/11 trade tower bombings. Between your prostitution, your feet rubbing for money, your Sonic lover, who is 60 and used to take you around in his truck to pay that cell phone bill at 15. Holy shit, you hadn't even had sex with a boy your age yet. And if you had, you'd had sex with 20 of them your age already. Yeah. My wife is such a whore. I heard her one time on the phone. She was talking to her sister and she was bragging about taking some dude's virginity. And I was like, you're gross. Like, you're fucking foul. Or what about your fat ass sister? Call me brother for 10 fucking years and Steve's fake ass too, right? But as soon as she shows her pussy to somebody, oh God, she wants Benny to fix it for her. So did Steve. Oh, but when Krystle gets caught whoring again, your fat ass sister and your slow ass brother-in-law, we're not brother and sister no more, are we? You know, I think I'm going to subpoena your sister and let her come up and tell her version of what a whore you are too, because, well, what does your sister call you? Your sister still to this day calls you hooker, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. But I think that she really means the enduring endearment type of hooker, like, I love you, bitch. Not like the hooker that used to sell her body for drugs and let her daughter hang out in the lobby with a cross-dressing assistant pimp with a fucking carrot baby von baby cock. The only dude that wears shorts every time after PE. Holy shit. I don't know. I can make jest of it because that's really all I have right now is probably a sense of humor that isn't very humorous. I've been surrounded by police, slept in the woods. Almost had the Abdullah Oblongata shot out the back of my head. But I'm still here. And I'm not going anywhere. And I'll beg, steal, pillage, and borrow to make sure you never recover from this. Oh no, you don't get to sell your pussy with Shelby. Which I thought was very interesting because the evening I spent with Shelby last night. Now my Shelby is built like an Arabian quarter horse. I mean, it's hard to tell if she played soccer or volleyball or soccer and volleyball. She's got 2 kids. No roast beef. I think that you must have just wanted everything you have in yourself. You think you're fucking Kathy Ireland. But you got more stripes on you, bitch, than a sheet of paper and a zebra square rooted together. Like, all you had to do was like maybe put on lotion one time and you wouldn't have ended up like that. I mean, because I went through a pregnancy with you. You like to complain about how the stretch marks hurt, but didn't want to put anything on them. That's like, shut the fuck up talking to me. How about that? Like, if you don't want the remedy and you just want to complain, then bitch, complain in silence. Suffer in silence. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Yeah, a lot of us come from a long line of something. Some people come from a long line of mechanics. White Boy Lockdown Radio comes from a long list of Italians that wish they were just Caucasian Western Europeans. You know, he may feel a lot like me. You know, my wife doesn't advertise the fact that she was a hooker, but your wife does. Damaged goods with no regrets. That's the same thing my wife said. Oh, she's damaged as fuck. But she has no regrets. Made her feel like a real woman. The things she thought were minus her personality, she regained them by selling her body to old, overweight men that had no idea you had herpes when they stuck their penis in you. Wow. Hell yeah. And then my wife got her feelings hurt when she couldn't find her pimp boyfriend. Well, she thought it was her boyfriend. He had taken another girl from school named Simone. Simone's sister I used to date, Brittany. I actually dated Simone too. One of the very few that laid PVC in both houses. That was back when, you know, things were still pointing north and we didn't know which way south was. Now, these 2 hookers could not stand each other. One is because Shelby was more attracted to the heroined out, knotted out white girl than he was the zebra striped Mexican girl. So she goes to the other room that they have. And wouldn't you know, Shelby and all 2 1/4 inches are pouring the coal to Simone. Meanwhile, Simone has one of his dirty socks in her mouth. Because when Simone does heroin and has sex, evidently she has a dirty sock fetish. Yeah. My wife destroyed any chance that we would ever be anything. To be with a man that prefers women that huff the ammonia out of a dirty sock than kiss the rancid mouth on you. Now, hell yeah. How the fuck does your mouth smell worse than your butt? I don't know, but I guarantee you that's the reason why you complain to every man won't French kiss you. You got something going on in your tummy. Holy shit. other than a place that stores all of the semen from the Johns in Dallas. I'm sorry, that one I had to get that one out. I mean, at least today I can smile about that shit, right? I can laugh about that shit. Tomorrow I probably won't. Tomorrow it won't be funny at all. Tomorrow it'll be something that if someone else says, I'll want to make sure there's still a band on Ivory because I'm going to take them all out. I'm going to punch them all. Punch at a time clock. So, your mom's a dope whore, you're a dope whore. Your sister, okay, yeah. Your older sister, Elizabeth. Elizabeth marries a cokehead who, I don't know, pretty much set the tone for the rest of her life and why she has a beard and tummy tuck that doesn't work. I mean, who the fuck has those two things at the same time? Like, why would you pay for a tummy tuck that did not work? And you can get them whiskers removed. There's many ways to remove those. You could let them grow into a beard and put some wax in it. You know, there's just a lot of different things you could do with that style. Now, I see why you sent your vagina, which I can't imagine yours looks any better than your sister's. And you got caught up doing it. All right. I mean, even your dumbass sister can cheat without getting. You didn't even cheat. You just sent a picture of your box to somebody that you went to high school with, that you thought about leaving your husband for. Right? You people are atrocious. Yeah. But I lived, you know, I learned to live with how you people are. I learned to live with it. I never learned to live with your dad. Like, I don't know how many holidays I threatened to whoop his ass for talking to somebody crazy, me, whoever. Like, man, you like that carpet you picked out 20 years ago, huh? How about if I rub your face with it? And then he's sweet as pie. I mean, he's actually cutting pie for me. You know? You know the best thing about your loser dad? And I don't mean the one that was murdered. I mean the one that lives in Plano. Oh yeah, that's right. That dad also can't be helpful as a foster care placement because back in, what was it, 97, he got caught with 2 ounces of methamphetamines on a motorcycle, right? Remember that? Damn. Y'all need a lot of shit right now. You know, this is turning into a scenario, or maybe it's already turned into this scenario. Because of what I've sent the DA and my lawyer, I don't have to prove you're hookering. You have to prove you're not. And it doesn't matter to me really anymore if you are or you aren't. Because you'll always be a whore. You can't outlive what you've done. You can't. And I'm sorry about the verbiage. My wife was one of those girls that didn't know that she was medium cute growing up. But boys did. And so some kind of way, her first real intercourse experience, she got an STD. I don't know where in the fuck high school boys are getting STDs. I think maybe nowadays they're a little more prevalent, but that's not because you were sleeping with a boy your age. No, your first time was probably with a man several times your age, because that's what you like. Makes me wonder about those stories your stepdad talks about with you running around with no clothes on and him allowing that. It's very, very strange. Or like you growing up in a house where you used to watch as a little girl your uncles have sex. That's weird. You know, as this thing progresses on, I've come to realize, I don't know how much I ever actually loved you as much as I needed to control you. And not because I'm a control freak. I mean, look at the regular average amount of control I seem to exhibit. Standardly low. Control is not a big thing, right? I mean, control for you starts to look like, can I manipulate this man into having sex with me with no condom? Because if I can burn his genitalia like mine was, well, I can trick him into thinking we'll be together forever. Baby, your breath smells like we've been together forever already. No, I'm just playing. But for real, you sold your soul to the devil, and the price was cheap. But Krystle is cold on this level, and it's twice as deep. You're not ready for what's going to happen. You're not ready for the things that my lawyer is going to say and show and do. You're not ready for your landlord to get on the stand after she's subpoenaed. You're not ready for Marcos, the neighbor, to get on the stand. You're not going to be ready for your boyfriend to go on the stand either. If I were you, I would do that simple slut shit that you do. Create a problem tonight. That way you can not talk to him all week, probably fuck 6 other guys. And then by Friday, when it's all over with, you can go suck some dick and make it all better. That's what you do. So you think costing me my phone, which then ultimately cost me a day in court where I lost the opportunity to speak on my own behalf during a custody hearing for my own son. Well, you better seize the moment, because you've lost every child you've ever born. That's right. You've lost every child you've ever bore. And then your greatest thinking, you took Josh. Now, Josh did 10 years and has a body full of tattoos. So that means he was handling dicks and dirty needles for 10 years in a row, right? Right. So after you found out he decided he'd rather mess with hookers than you. The hooker wanted to come back to me. Then he moved on to who? Miss Spence, remember? And then I put an end to that, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ruined that. That's right. He was so upset he called me a bitch. And then I had to tell him how you fucked his best friend for 4 or 5 years after he got out of prison early for snitching on Josh. I told him, you fucked his best friend who he still thought was down for the team, but it really ratted him up the river. Yeah, my wife is the only person I think ever that could go to a regular random get together and be in the same room as like 6 men she's had sex with. It's gross. I faced those demoralizing situations over and over and over again. I was invited to a dinner one time with Christina and her husband, Kendon. I remembered the name Kendon, and I didn't know why, because then it struck me one time you had fallen asleep and your phone was open and I got into it. There was messages between you and Kendon about Kendon choking you with his dick and how much you liked it. The thing is, Kendon is married to Christina, and they had a three-way. And I'm fairly sure these people look pretty clean, so I'm guessing Krystle didn't tell them that she had herpes, right? Because they were doing a lot of mouthy stuff, and I never did mouthy stuff with you one time, because I'm guessing herpes in the throat would just be unsurvivable. So, my wife is the kind that will call your wife her best friend, but meanwhile have relations with your husband and manipulate him into thinking that it's okay because you guys all did it together. So I go to a dinner, and Kendon, he's just a little shit. Like, I could take him back to the spot and bend him up like a pretzel. No problem at all. No problem. I don't know how many alpha men he's even seen in real life other than me. He had this real smart chuckle. And he kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And my son had to go to the bathroom. So the ladies, Christina and my wife, they get up to go to the bathroom. And I said, man, you chuckle at me one more fucking time and I'm going to tell your wife right now how you used to choke my wife with your dick after you guys had your threesome. Now, Kendon, what I would tell you is that my wife talked your wife into having a threesome with me, except for I saw the picture of your wife and just thought I would rather fuck the lady with herpes than your wife. Your wife looks like RoboCop without the mask. Yep. You're a foul being. And I hope that you get everything that you desire. I truly do. Because like I opened this segment with, I can't want for me the things I want for me without wanting them for you as well. I mean, but the thing is that if Krystle's ever given a gift, she just, I don't know. If she's not paid extra to keep the condom off, she's just going to put a condom on it and suck it. I mean, that's what she does. But at some point, Elizabeth, at some point, Jamie, I don't even remember what the fuck the dumb sister's name was, the slow one. What the fuck was her name? The blonde-haired one. See? That's how much of an impact they made. What the fuck is your dumbass sister's name? You know, the dumb one that's got oppositional defiance disorder? You know, the one that your mom just let do whatever, cut on herself, all that shit, right? What the Elizabeth? No. That's the old one. The one with the beard. I don't remember what your sister's middle sister was, or little sister. But your mom didn't raise one child that isn't fucked up. She raised 3 women that do nothing but depend on men. Now you, however, depend on men for different things. Mainly your identity. Yeah, your identity. See, Krystle knows she belongs to the streets until she's in a monogamous, well, what these men think are monogamous relationships. Let me tell you what, whoever you are, sir, every time you dip your stick into the ink, you're fucking the trashiest people in Dallas. Oh yeah, because my wife didn't provide a service for the delegates and the Republicans and the Democrats. No. She provided a service for the guys that have been collecting nickels for the past 87 days, and then cash them in at a Coinstar somewhere or a PLS. My wife is the kind of bitch that just sell pussy to her own uncle and then try to fuck my dad. And probably not in that order. I mean, shit. If it's your mom's sister, it's not really your uncle, right? It's like the time that your uncles let you get drunk and you woke up with no panties on. Yeah, you didn't even want to call the police because of the ideal that while you were incapacitated, you might have enjoyed any portion of that. Right? I don't know, babe. I'm starting to care about you like I do turkey. That's very little. I'm allergic to turkey. And see, what Hitler never realized when he was pumping them troops up full of that shit was that at some point they had to sleep. And when you sleep, the world wiggles, it moves, it progresses, it gets older every second. You're gonna have to sleep. You will have to sleep. And when you sleep is when we'll kick it into overdrive. Now, when we kick it into overdrive, what happens is that you end up working years at that job to pay me. Oh yeah. I told you what I was gonna do with your half. Oh, your half you can do whatever you want with. Some of your half is also going to have to pay for you getting the other half to me. You have to pay that penalty. I don't have to pay that penalty, you do. So when you cut that check to me for your half, giving me half of your 401k, I'm gonna find some kids that are less fortunate. And I'm gonna donate that money to some kids other than our kid. Because if you can do it, so can I. I'm gonna take your money like you did mine and blow it on everything else except for our child. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep. I should have known when Christian, the kid you gave away, the one that you had zero love for, and you couldn't understand how I might not want to fall in love with a child inside of your body. You couldn't understand that, but yet you did the same thing. Yeah, you did the same thing. You didn't give a fuck enough about that boy. You would hear he was in the fucking gutters, face down in the ditch, overdosed on fucking Xanax, 8 days a week. And I felt like crying. You acted as if it was like brushing the hair away from your face. And I will mention again. It's gonna be strange when we go to court and these things that you've put on me to create these other things are gonna ring true in the ears of jurors. They're gonna say, well, we don't like the word whore or hooker, but that's what this lady is. She is a whore and a hooker. I mean, when you really pound down the idea that you've slept with hundreds of men for a fee, but never told any of these men right up front in your ad, you like to tell them you're half Latina and half white, but got a whole pussy full of fucking herpes. You don't tell nobody that. That goes a long ways, Krystle. That goes a really long ways. We're going to paint the palette to scale as accurate as one could. We're not gonna make you look like something you're not. Bitch, we're gonna make you look exactly like what you are. And that's sad. I wondered what kind of fucking loser, ouch, I gotta go back to the store. What kind of fucking loser I must have been in order to be cursed with falling in love with a sex worker that contracted herpes. Do you remember the face of the man that gave it to you? God bless. I would never forget. All seriousness aside. Oh, Jesus. You're not the one forever, you're just the one for right now, for everyone. You know, I had said before that you left every time that I never did, and that's not true. Some of the most pivotal moments in your life happened because I threw you away. Like the trash you represented yourself as. I threw you away in a dumpster, and you lived in your car until, you know, you went on hookup sites to meet men that had houses that would, well, I shouldn't say houses. They had a room, one room in a whole house that was demolished. You were living in a house that didn't have a fucking roof in it and projecting it to me like you were winning while driving around in Harry's sister's used fucking convertible Jaguar. Then what'd you do? You decided you wanted to ruin Harry's life, didn't you? See, Harry was a recovering heroin addict. Now, Harry had never used a needle. Harry allegedly did it other ways. Oh, but Krystle loved to take men and put needles in their arms. Yeah. Put needles in their arms, suck on their dicks, and then throw them away. And then they want to beat her up and put guns in her mouth. You didn't call the cops on Harry for putting a gun in your mouth after beating you up. But you had me put in jail for calling you a hooker when you actually are. Krystle, I don't care. I don't care if they come with 57,000 more charges just like the ones you got now. That doesn't change you. It doesn't. You're still a hooker. You're still one that will become confronted with strenuous life detail, and the best thinking you have is to sell your herpes receptacle. Hey, I'm sorry, it's not. It doesn't sound like what we want it to sound like, does it? No, it certainly doesn't. I'm sorry about that. I guess if she would have never done such shit, well, hell. I wouldn't have very, very descriptive, I mean, I'm descriptive. I have a very descriptive way of relaying all this shit, right? So, I mean, you're not even doing it for booze. Like before, part of the reason you hookered yourself is so you could get fake breasts. But you gotta have you have to have a goal, baby. And please, the day has to come when you think sleeping with another 60 men is gonna hurt me. It doesn't. It only hurts you because you can't stop. You had herpes before you had a driver's license? I mean, HPV before you had a driver's license? Holy shit. You had a pedophile in your life that you would blow once a month for a cell phone bill before you had a 10th grade science book. Holy shit. Jesus. It's a choice, right? It's a choice. Choice. We're forced to make those choices. And then other times we lay on our backs and make them, right? And you know the period in life that you hate? You always hate when I stop giving a fuck about you. Don't you? That's always when you try to come back, isn't it? Well, it may be fair to say, I don't know. Never gave a fuck about you. It's like, the heart wants what the heart wants. It's like, we always want what we can't have, right? Except that I did have it. Yeah, half a dozen times. Shit. Let that shit back in. What's wrong with me? Oh, yeah. We gotta grab the plastic. First thing we did in kindergarten, we learned about single file. Can I get one of them Newport 100, buddy? No, sir. Oh, you ain't gotta be. Do you have something alternative? Not really. Cool. Then you got the shorts. Yeah, I'll take the food. Why? I'll be back here tomorrow and get some more. Then the 100? Yep. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. He said, no, you cannot.
You don't see him up there.
Yeah. I just get used to just knowing it's there.
Yeah.
Shit like Russia now.
It usually be
especially over here, shit. Yeah. Look, every other cigarette is there except the Newport.
Yeah, but Newport.
Yeah.
All right, go home.
All right, bro.
You have a good day, man.
You too now. Yeah, I think I tore up my goddamn ACL.
You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
You're in the hood. You got that thing right there where you at. There, you see it? I got the eye in the sky on you, baby. Eye in the sky, baby. Hey, look out. That bitch is clean. Ooh. That is a nice car. Holy shit. That's a Genesis? That's one of them Genesis?
Yeah.
That bitch clean, bro. Yeah, you look like a real foreign. Yes, sir. I truly believe and I know. The man in the mirror is my only contender. Thing off my plate. The man in the mirror is my only contender. What that means is like people like Don and White Boy Radio Lockdown, they get to do what the world lets them. I get to do what I want. Tried and true every time. I do what the fuck I want. You know, there really is. There's a, for me anyways, I guess it's my toxicity maybe, or I don't know what you would call it, but once I get to jail tonight at 3:30 a.m., I'm gonna sleep well. I'll probably sleep better there than I would at home. You dig? Yeah. But you can spin me up and set me down anywhere and I'm gonna find my way right back to it, right? Don't be mistaken. Baby, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Yeah, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Most people, they just checking in to make sure Benny Keys is still doing just as fucking bad as we want him to, or just as fucking bad as we think he was last time. It's location, location, location. That's like the complimentary prize. That's the sting. That's what you're running the play for, is to walk away feeling the victor. You just gonna walk away and fuck a victor, probably. Maybe you fuck several victors, I don't know. However, you can't run fast enough to get away from your own stink. You can't. If you had the choice, you'd still be with every man you've ever manipulated into having sex with you without a condom. It's them that decide they don't want you anymore. And I hate that for you. I do. But at the same time, you keep watching somebody do something over and over and over, expecting a different result, and they don't get it. They don't understand how that could be chaotic or insane. Sort of like Jimbo. He's gonna wake up tomorrow and really believe that he's still not a pedo. Try as you might. Be a pedo every night, my friend. We don't care about anything have to do with any of them people. I don't anyways. I got grown man shit to worry about. And then I got a little tidbit of immature shit I gotta worry about too. In the word, I'm just not gonna help anymore. Yeah. You repay someone for your failed attempts. Someone's like, no, I don't want you to paint anymore. You're getting the paint all over the ground and everything other than where we want the paint. Fine, fuck it, I'm not gonna help anymore. And I'm supposed to say, oh, no, please continue to help us. Please continue to do the shit you say you're not doing. Which also would make you a liar. I done recycled so many motherfuckers that if there was a bottle return on y'all, I'd be rich. I done sent so many back to where the fuck you came from. It's indubitable. Hey, bro. White boy, you gotta look like your dad, bro. Because if there's a woman out there that favors you, holy fuck. She's probably like one of those apparatuses that they just hit volleyballs against to make sure that they are, you know, USA Olympic certified. I don't know. Like, bro. They should have put you in a burlap sack. Throw you in a, put a rock in there with you and throw you in a creek somewhere. But then, see my wife's best friend, Natalie, who's currently all fucked up with CPS right now because she likes to do cocaine. And then she gets so fucking twacked. She doesn't keep up with where the cocaine goes. Now, I don't mean in her nose. Because, yes, you can tell every second you're around her, it goes up her nose. But if you're not paying attention, just as quick as it goes up her nose, it also falls to the floor where her little toddler son, Jack, crawls. Well, little Jack is no different than any other child his age, in that he is on the floor crawling without walking, but also putting every fucking thing in his mouth. Yeah. So 2 different times. One time was about 20 cents worth of cocaine in the corner of a bag. We were in the bathroom, smoking marijuana, with her kids wandering around, and I'm like, you really need to put these kids out. And then I look down because baby Jack is all around our feet. And there's a bag opened up with $20 worth of cocaine in it, right in this child's path. And I probably kept it more professional than I should have. But I tell you what, I mean, it's not as if Taylor gives a fuck. Like, bro, it is clear what you do. You are a scammer. Your wife is fucking hideous. She may have been cute back when you hooked her up. But it's very clear by the way you treat her that you fuck a lot of other women. And I don't want to say that you're fucking them successfully. Like, successful doesn't mean you walk away feeling good. It means that you walk away feeling good because you know they walked away feeling good. Or maybe you ran the conduit in a way they didn't walk away. And then you feel legendary. Right? And then the next time, when she was clearly sniffing cocaine, and I found the straw. Now, the straw didn't have as much cocaine in it as the open bag, but it still had it in it, right? So I told them, and I told them, and I told them again, when you go, don't piss test them again. Pull the hair off their head. Now, we know Taylor likes to do a lot of Molly. How much time have you let those children spend around your parents, Natalie? Do you think when a CPS takes those kids and tries to place them somewhere else, they'll even understand that Danish slang? Do you think, Natalie? I don't really give a fuck about you. Do you remember that time you bought 200 Exos from somebody, and in less than 20 days, they were gone? That's 10 a day. Oh, and you silly whore. We should probably tell you now, so you could tell your best friend Krystle. I think we're going to subpoena Rachel Nucchio, too. Because Rachel has a lot to say. In fact, a whole lot to say. Isn't she the one that got you jammed up with your first CPS case? I think she was. Krystle, isn't that the one that you used to hunt down drunk men at the Hotel Zaza? And you and Rachel used to offer 3 ways to drunk old men for $100. And then when they decided both of you were subpar and your vagina was like a spoiled submarine sandwich, they would try to leave without paying, wouldn't they? You know how I know that? Stephanie told me. You know, Stephanie, your really hot roommate. She slept in the middle room. I too slept in the middle room. And I don't mean after she was gone. It is what it is. And I thought, like, what was the thing that made me really treat you the way you didn't like to be treated? And I gotta say, it was the black dude, Calvin. It was Calvin. Calvin had a wife. Calvin was a forensic accountant who found intra-corporational fraud. Like, this guy did the numbers and he did them without pen or pad. But my wife spent a lot of time around this dude doing drugs. And then coming home with his children's shit. Like their iPads and their iPods. And I'm like, no. I think after the first 4 or 5 times he gives you something hoping that you return it with sex, he stops doing it, right? That was really the thing, because it was the way you would talk about black men. Like, ooh, they're just so gross. And Calvin wasn't. You know, Calvin lost everything. Because Calvin, while he was a forensic accountant, also got caught with a whole bunch of meth. Who you think turned him on to meth? My wife, that's who. Yep. I've also reached out to Robert at A1 Flyer Distribution. You know, the one that used to pay you to rub his feet. Pay you to rub your feet. Jesus, I almost let you out of another hooker ship. You broke an entry into his condo and you stole $1,100 cash. Remember? I do. Because you showed up at the Burger King on Oak Lawn and Maple to sell me something that was already mine. Remember that old ass black dude you had with you? Yeah, you showed up with an old black man. You didn't like black men until you had to blow one to get something you wanted, right? God bless. You're such a hypocrite. I mean, hell, that's probably why you liked Shelby. He's almost black. He's almost a ginger black. Or what about Othello? What about Mothello? Yeah. What about Shelby trying to sell you to one of my very good friends? Remember what he said to you? Now that you're not with him anymore, you think we can spend some time? Shelby jumped right in. He's like, yeah, for like $200 an hour. Come on. $200 an hour. You even upped the rate on the black guys. Because you're giving it to fucking meth-headed white dudes for $100. You know, I'd asked your mom one time to describe you in one word. You know what she said? She said liar. You're a liar. Yep. You're a liar. I guess we all are in the past tense, right? We didn't get to the ages we are now, respectively, without telling a lie. And because it was in the past, we can dutifully say, yeah, I've been a liar. I am a liar, if you want to look at it that way, right? I'll tell you what, though, Tragedy Pimps Exposed has never told a lie. Not one. at all. And what she does isn't a second-hand exploitation. It's like, no. You go ahead and exploit that first round, and I'll catch it when it comes out the other side damp. Oh, Jesus. You come out the other side dense. How about that? This place is only good for one thing. Nothing. Even being good for nothing is being good for one thing. Can we agree on that? I would love to tell you, you deserve everything that's coming to you. Now, what you've gained in the past, which is, well, herpes and HPV. You talk shit about my daughter having came to us with 3 STDs that she got from an older man. Wow, you know what? She contracted 3 she could get rid of. You have 2 you can't. Like, you are a collector of things, aren't you? You have like matching little doggy sweaters for your STDs too? Because outside, I mean, if you subtract the sheer number of times you didn't tell men that were paying for sex that you had herpes, you've probably had to tell 200 men you have herpes. I mean, she's that kind of promiscuous. I have a fair idea of how many. Now, I could be completely wrong, and my wife knows exactly how many men paid her for sex. $5 a day for 10 months. 10 months times 30 days. Times 5. It's a lot of men. I mean, that is, even if it's 0.25% of all the men in Dallas. My wife is the epitome of 6 degrees of separation. I mean, because she could sleep with a man and just through proxy has also slept with that man's brother, uncle, but came back from it feeling refreshed. This is the treatment while I still love you. What do you think that treatment might look like when, I don't know, I hate you? I'll tell you one thing. I won't sleep until that boy is away from you. I will do everything except for cheat like Doug and White Boy Radio Lockdown to make sure you have as very little interaction with this child as you did the rest. Mark my words. Yeah, I'll run out of money. I'm going to need some more money. But I know how to get it. And I know how to get it and keep my client. Because with all your best thinking, you didn't sell pussy to buy a part of a company. You sold pussy and stayed broke because you had a needle in your arm. In closing, you know what my wife told me she did for her 28th birthday? She had sex, anal sex, with a cross-dresser named Shelby, who I almost killed because the bathroom I was replacing tile in, dressed like a woman with a police nightstick in his ass. Now, for a long time, I thought, wow, what is wrong with me? That I'm gonna post it tomorrow. When I found out my wife's hooker phone number, I called her. I tried to arrange a date with my own soulmate. I offered her 5 times her asking rate. You know what she said? She'd rather sleep with strangers. I'm sure you would. I'm absolutely, actually certain you would. Yeah. Like, you're the kind of bitch that would fuck their cousin every summer, all summer. And then get to some point in your life where you thought it was a good idea to talk about it. Like, my wife probably is the kind of woman that actually fed on taking the virginity of boys she wasn't good enough to sleep with. Oh, you're a second-rate citizen, huh? You are a second-rate citizen. And you know who gives a fuck about you? People that think there's a mystery under your clothes. And then when they unwrap it, they're like, you look like a maze on a fucking a kid's chili menu. Yeah, you came back from hookering with a twist in your hips, like you were having an orgasm with every step. And that's because you slept with 3,000 men. Now, granted, probably some of these were regulars. You always like to tell everyone you've got a almost degree in psychology, but you couldn't trick a man into paying you first. You got hip to that, though, didn't you? I mean, it's the only way to sustain a longevity in prostitution. You have to get the money first. Even if you get the money and then take an ass whipping, at least you got the money. Because if you kept giving the pussy away for free and trading it for fucking sunglasses, you'd have to open a sunglass hut. But then that'd be too much like work. You'd have to handle stock. You'd have to add tax to it. You'd have to do some things. When you're a hooker, you just fucking bite your cheek and bear it, right? You grit your teeth and bear it. In my hunt to find your postings, I have forgotten what your body looks like. Thank God. I've forgotten. And I have hired people to virtually meet with me on certain days since all this has happened. And we look at your old pictures. You know, the pictures I took of you that you used from our bedroom to try to entice and manipulate other men to have sex with you while you didn't tell them you had herpes. You don't look like that anymore. Right? You do not look like that anymore. I mean, really all it was that you hadn't been sitting on your ass like you do now. But with that being said, I will never stop until you are fucking childless. I will never stop protecting that boy. I may have to coach myself back and forth from the bench to the field sometimes because there's a lot of days I don't want to play ball. There's a lot of days that I want to find everything in the world that I can bang my fucking head on so as to forget you. Those days are getting more far and few between. Now I spend a great majority of my time since hiring one of 800 board certified criminal defense experts from the state of Texas, who also was a 12-year prosecutor, Dallas County. Let's do some math. There's over 100,000 criminal defense attorneys in Texas. 800 of those are board certified experts. Those are the kind of attorneys that hand back paperwork and files to the DA when you're trying to superimpose your bullshit on me so that you can get your fucking dick-sucking divorce. Like, think about this. You sucked all these dicks to get the money for this divorce. You want it to mean something in the end. You wanted to have sucked all these dicks for a real reason, to get away from me. But what happens when you get to the end and you sucked all those dicks and you still owe money? Because you're going to owe a lot of money. Because guess what? Although my lawyer isn't worth a bent fucking dick, he has some directives. And his directives are to fucking manhandle your finances. Yep. That's what it is. You want to suck dicks for leisure? How would you like to suck dicks? Because if you don't, you'll go to jail for not paying your fucking lawyer fees. No, you've never been between the headboard and the wall, have you? Oh no, you lived most of your life there. I'm venomous. I'm venomous. I could go on and on and on, but I shouldn't. I don't know. I blame it on your mom. Yep. Blame it on your mom. And you know, might have to call down there to the old fucking treasury down there downtown, you know, the one that Steve works at doing the HVAC. Might need to pluck some hairs off of his head too. Because anyone who has tightened a nut or a bolt on your machine, they got some fucking explaining to do. Okay? Another Quaalude, you're gonna love me again. Yeah. See, oh, Stevie the neighbor. Stevie Wilcox, you fucking piece of shit, you. When I got my first decree, your name was on it as a reference. I bet you I'd never see you at court, huh? Because I've called you and told you, if you show up at court, well, you better come home looking like fucking Sloth from the Goonies, because I'm gonna have every fucking hair on your head pulled and tested, sir. And you, my friend, won't get to see little Anthony anymore, will you? Yeah? Is that right? You want to continue to see little Anthony, don't you, Stevie? And how you get to do that is you don't show up at no fucking court sessions for me at all, because I'll show him everything about you ordering fucking LSD off the internet, homie. Yep. We can make sure your brother never sees Anthony again either, because your brother has a fucking blistering cocaine issue, doesn't he? Yeah. Show up at my shit if you want to, Wilcox. Wilburn. And I'll make sure your mama feels it. Hell yeah. Your mom was a good lady. I don't understand how she stayed married to a piece of shit like your old man for that long. I mean, dude, your dad is a piece of shit. And I don't think he's fucking showered since like 78. It smells like a fucking U-Haul full of tanks. For real. That's the best she has. She's got a cocaine dealer. Oh yeah, I've turned her in for selling cocaine. Because she does. No, Krystle, it doesn't matter if she just trades a little coke for some weed sometimes or vice versa. That's still commerce. You don't think I don't have all the texts of you asking me to get drugs for your friend so that you could effectively impress her? Oh yeah, my wife wanted me to sell drugs for her friend. I'll tell you why, because when my wife gets around her friend and her friend is fucked up on drugs, well, that's when her friend likes to clean out her closet and give shit away. And my wife really likes to get secondhand shit that she can't afford because she's fucking lazy. Yeah. Oh, she'd rather get somebody else some drugs so their inhibitions go down, and then you can talk her out of that Gucci purse, right? And then I watch your lousy hooker ass act like, oh no, that's just too much. Oh, and goddamn well you gonna accept that shit. How many fucking purses have you taken from my mom? Every single one. That's how many. Yeah. And I tell you, I'm not getting along with Mama Keys right now. Mama Keys has been doing a fair jag of fucking lying, haven't you, Mama Keys? Yeah. Just like telling me the police came to the house on bicycles. Had uniforms on, but they were on bicycles. I said, you mean they had shorts on? No, they had long pants on, riding bicycles to the house and talked to Aunt Diana, right? Funny thing about that is when I asked Aunt Diana, she said she hadn't talked to no fucking Terrell cops ever. So you told me the cops were there so I would stay away. And then when I stayed away, you condescended and chastised me for not being there. It's kind of like when you tell everyone that you did everything in your power to keep my child molesting father away from me. He was molesting. But then you forget everyone knows you flew to Alaska to try to trick him to come back home with you. And the only thing you got was probably 4.5 minutes of dick. You jumped back on that Alaska airline plane and came all the way back home, me and you. But there was 3. We came as 2 and we left as 3, didn't we? Because in your attempts to keep me away from my dad, you flew me directly to Alaska to be right next to him shortly after he had offended against me. And you allowed him to have sex with you and put my little brother that you resent into existence. That's the kind of lie I will never forgive. Because you're really not lying to you. You're lying to me. And you didn't decide to tell me I had been molested by this man until I was 19 years old. When you didn't get the money from him to remodel your bathroom, you said that's why your dad raped you. Oh yeah. That's like you calling me last Wednesday and saying, I really hope that you're there when I get home, knowing that I had just been told I had a warrant for my arrest and that Terrell is exceptionally egregious and in a big fucking hurry to lock me up. Well, why would she want Benny to come back home? Because she had 5 cops with guns there. And she thought that the mind state that I was in at that time, it was gonna go smooth. She told me how much she loved me. Meanwhile, she had 5 cops sitting there waiting on me to come home. And I knew better than to take the bait. Only Krystle takes bait, Mom. Krystle likes the little worms. Hell yeah. Do you think Shelby will get on the stand and lie for you? Because I don't. There's just no fucking way. And even if he does lie for you, doesn't matter. It's going to be a divorce by jury. It's going to cost you more money. Fuck. You're going to be paying on this divorce forever. I won't be. Mine's already paid. You will be, though. And if there is any remaining money to be distributed after I get my half of your 401k, which I don't expect her to be a lot. What could there be in there? 20, 30 grand? So I'm looking at taking 15 from you. Now, granted, you worked a lot of days for those. But you worked a lot of days on your back for Shelby with no payoff, right? So because Natalie likes to sit around and snap pictures of you and your boyfriend, you won't put the fucking faggot on your page, will you? Pardon my French, but I'm guessing looks like a faggot because that's what she likes. She likes dudes that, and this is the point, man. This is the fucking thing. If any man spends more than 3 or 4 years in prison, he handled a dick or two. Not necessarily with his mouth, but probably usually. She likes those guys that come home from prison after handling dicks. Right? You know what my wife told me? She always likes to fucking try to hurt my soul. She said, you know the one thing I didn't like about Josh? And I said, wow, there's only one thing. Okay, let me guess. The one thing was that he used drugs to sleep with young girls. I used to pull out or use the rhythm method with the others, but not with you. No. You were the special one. He put a baby right inside of you and then moved on to the next one and got locked up and made you as a teenager have to throw the kid away. No, that wasn't it. The one thing she hated about Josh, and it wasn't that he fucked with hookers. The one thing she hated about Josh is that he pushed her legs too far back behind her head when they had sex. Well, when you have a hairy butthole like she does, it doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. No, but for real, like, you know, her goal in life is to have her anus waxed. Not because she can see it, but because she always plans on having her butthole face. Somebody's going to be looking that thing in the eye. I don't know. I used to think I've lost a whole lot. I've not lost anything. And the shit that isn't here anymore was the trash in life that was gonna rot away anyways. Yeah. I don't know. One day when I get older, I may have to be on dialysis, right? Damaged my liver and kidneys. One day when my wife gets older, the rest of her body will catch up to the way her vagina looks. And then there will be symmetry. You know I love all of you individually. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. And Lily, shoo-wee, baby. I just pray that you do Nicolina like you did me. And I don't even pray that because I pray that you don't do Nicolina like you did me because I didn't want you to do me that way. So there we go, back to the opener. I gotta want for me the things I want for Nicolina. And because that's the case, I'm just gonna stop wanting for a while. Because I want nothing to do with Nicolina. Pretty much since the very first day I talked to her, And she did the sneaky shit. She's also acted like she called me and never told me I was online and thought she had her thing muted. And bitch, please. Bitch, please. To my mom, I will never have an expectation of you again. If I do, it will only be setting the bar very low for you. I do not want to have to see you jump. I will set it low enough you could step over it or slither under it. As a child, one thing that we never understand or think that we would have to deal with is our parents lying to us, but especially lying to us in what has appeared to be and actually is my greatest moment of need. If you lie to me again, I will do you exactly like my younger brothers do you. I don't care if I'm your favorite or not. You will also never speak to my child. Just like Nick doesn't let you speak to his child. I will do you like a regular motherfucker on the street. Now, as a parent, you should be equipped with the know-how and the knowledge to navigate a life knowing kids are kids and they're gonna lie. So for you to try to find or create irony in the fact that I'm upset at you for your brand of lies, well, it'd be like me telling you when your husband tried to fuck my wife and my wife tried to fuck your husband that everything was gonna be okay. I guess you're getting back at me, right? All of this is very short-lived. Life is very short. And I get caught in these cycles where it feels like the misery and the mourning of the loss of you, Krystle, it supersedes everything. I can tell you that I haven't mourned the death of my child molesting father, because Krystle asked to come with me to the funeral, and I said, you don't know these people, and I'd prefer that you didn't. Because you always have a really prostitute-y way of making it all about you. I didn't say that, but I thought it quietly in my own headspace. As I get back from burying my dad, she decides she wants to fuck other people, but she doesn't want to tell me first. So I immediately shifted from grieving the death of someone real to grieving the death of a relationship with a hooker that I was going to have to grieve again because I refused to say no. Not understanding that if I would have said no, I was keeping my genitalia safe. I was keeping my family safe, keeping my mother safe because I didn't put a hooker around my dad, and then my dad have no inhibitions when it comes to hookers, I guess. So he's like, Dad, why don't you try to fuck one of your other sons? Why don't you try to fuck one of your real sons' wives? I think the only reason you did that was because I'm not your real son. I said that to him when he had been drinking tequila with the worm. And he was cleaning magazines. And I don't mean Time Life. He was cleaning magazines to the pew pew. And I said it to him. And he was loaded. And he said, what if I go get my gun? I said, you'll never make it. You'll never make it to the door. I will discombobulate life in a way that you will never be able to put the needle to your record player back
on track. And I'll do it in front of your wife. I'll let her watch. And you know, probably eventually she's going to come over here and give you some first aid. But there's going to be those very critical moments where she enjoys seeing you suffer. I used to think that. Now my mom talks to herself all fucking day. She's not doing that. She's drinking herself into an oblivion and focusing on something that doesn't matter so as to engage me so that she can lie to me. I don't need you like that. And looking at the whole, and Fizzle, feel free to clip this and send this to my mom. Yeah. Just don't lie to her like you did me. Because let me tell you what, homegirl, the fucking lie you kept from me and then told me the next day, I've not heard any results about that. You would think if it was such a big fucking ordeal, when those results came in, Fizzle, I'd be the first to know. Or at least the 21st to know. Yeah. You know, there was a time, Fizzle, where I was upset with my mom for also engaging you into these conversations where you lied to me. It wasn't too long ago I had to thank my mom for pointing the snake out. I got out the mower and I whacked the grass. We're just business partners. But it's kind of like it's both our moms, but we'll just keep the lies down at Fizzle's house, right? I said, bitch, why don't you give me your mama's phone number and I'll just call her and create a... No. Why are you saying it like that? Because you don't want me to do to you the same thing you done to me. I see. So you've taken and you've taken and you've taken, and even in the end, when you want to go in these bullshit ass discords that you use to fluff up your own boobs, you try to make yourself look good and say, well, there's $800 and because Benny's spending and because he paid in at the end, I'm going to send him the $600. Why don't you send me my fucking $600, you loser? How about that? Huh? How about that? How about that? I don't know. That could be that you could show a little appreciation for all the bullshit you brought into my life for being a messy bitch online. Getting involved in scamathons and Scott H and Carl. I mean, Scott H is a real fucking, he's a fluffer bag. But let me tell you this. Do you think it's coincidence that all of these people had problems with you? Because you surely wanted me to see it like all those people are fucked up. My daddy used to say, if ever in the span of one day you meet two assholes, you need to look in the mirror because that's where the real asshole is. And nothing says stuffing like telling everyone every day how great your life is. I'm here to tell you. You only talk about the shark in the water when the shark's in the water, right? When you don't see a shark in the water, you don't talk about sharks in the water. So what that means is that if you were happy and you're telling us every day, you're actually trying to convince yourself. Now, it may actually be on a virtual upward trend. But hell, I mean, you talk about my business, so let's talk about a little bit of your business, huh, Fizzle? You think he's ever going to cheat on you again? I don't know. I don't know Kent's heart. I mean, I know Ken is the kind of guy that would be okay with you taking a bunch of money from a guy and then telling you you can't do XYZ to be a regular human being. I bet you Kent didn't have no problem spending my fucking money when he's burnt up all y'all's money first, right? Well, then why in the fuck doesn't Kent tell you to send me my goddamn money? Girl, I'll spend $1,600 to sue you for $600. I got all the shit saying you're gonna send me the money. You better send me my fucking money, because right now I need every dime. I need every dime. Yeah. I need every dime. BS, don't start with me, man. Why are you even here? With your weird ass. Yeah. Hey, BS, show us all of your troll channels without showing us all your troll channels. Girl, get the fuck out of here with your judging ass. What you need to do is start a channel and then do nothing to it. And you'd be pulling off the same thing you pull off now. Like somewhere in your deluded mind, you think without me knowing your name or what you look like, you can give me advice or tell me things on my property. Girl, take your junky ass on. Because that shit is junky as fuck. That's junky as fuck. That's like finding your womanhood again while you're hookering. Hell yeah. Oh, and wait, maybe like Spivey, because you sent me some money over the course of time. I don't know if you have or you haven't. Guessing probably you're going to say you have. Oh, well, that makes it all okay. We can say whatever the fuck we want to Benny because we sent him $5, huh, Lily? No, you didn't send me $5 because I needed it. You sent me $5 because you needed it. That's right. Because if I need help, I'm not going to be afraid to ask. I'm not going to be one of them ones that comes here and finagles you and says, well, I didn't even ask him to send me any money. That's like saying, look what you made me do to you. For real. And to my subpar looking wife. Look what you made take a look at what you gonna make my lawyer do to you. I got 2 lawyers. Now, one is very personable, very stylish. He looks just like Ben Affleck with a beard. And his pants on his suits, wool suits, right? These pants, they're what I would consider high waters. Oh no. They are specifically cut to look like that. He's got the socks to match and probably $1,500 shoes. I mean, the left one $1,500 and the right one $1,500. I mean, they say you can't make $1 million unless you look like it, right? I don't know. Hey, Dolly, I wanted to check your itinerary and see when you were actually going to fly to Michigan and stick your 11-inch dick in my daughter's throat. So I'm going to tell you what. If you got even close to my daughter's throat with that little pin dick, it would have to be rape because my daughter doesn't sleep with white boys. She likes light-skinned black boys with colored eyes, green eyes. You're not that, bro. No. What's colorful is the tops of your teeth as they go through the various stages of decay. Hell yeah. You're like a motherfucker that only fucks brothers. You're probably more like J is for just, no, not J is for justice. Justice for balls. I mean, justice for all. You're more like him than you are, I don't know, Doug. Doug's a piece of shit, and he did, you could say, offend against people anally. with Chico, the mop, remember? So you guys are both rapists in your own right. But you can never be like Doug. Doug is Jewish. And Doug renounces his own religion. But not all the time. I mean, on the outs, he covers that shit up. But on the inside, I bet you every fucking thing that Doug wears has no legs on it. He wears shorts in the pin. Because in the pin, he can identify the 1488, right? Like only here can you find a Jew who denounces his faith. Now, mind you, let's do a little history. Everybody remembers Schindler, right? Schindler was German and did more for Jews than Doug could. Doug, you win automatically over Schindler when you just don't put that shit on your legs, bro. And I heard that Joshy's having a rough time of it. Fucking sorry about that, bro. That's what happens when you cheat to win, bro. See, you couldn't even see I was playing you, Josh. You didn't understand that I knew that if I told you these bad things about Doug, it would only push you closer together. Hell yeah, I made y'all two homosexuals soul tie. And then Josh only wants to deal with Benny when he thinks Benny is gonna dox Prairie Garden for him because Prairie Garden said he's a fat bastard. Just like Austin Powers was in Fat Bastard. Bro, you are a fat bastard. Get over it. I'm a skinny bastard. I mean, Jesus. You know the knife cuts both ways. I don't know. I just really starting to realize that the people like Carl are the ones that you sort of kind of you're magnetically drawn to, right? You're like, you have a war in the streets, but then once it's time to peace treaty, it's like so very easy to do. So what that tells you is through the course of this thing, if you find people that you're aligned with, you ought to question those relationships. Those people that you have disagreements with, you need to firm up and sturdy those relationships because those will be ones, maybe they don't last forever. I mean, Carl couldn't wait to try to tell you something he thought you didn't know. That's not what friends do. I've not done any of that to Carl, not since we made the truce. And I forgive Carl for that. But I just identify that probably means there'll never be another candid conversation with Carl. I don't care that you record anything, bro. But you can't keep telling me that you're done with Summer Wells and all this shit and then, become vindictive and malicious again, bro. Right? Like, so you think I'm one thing, or you may think I'm a million things. And maybe some of those you'd be right. But I tell you, you're dead wrong for even thinking anybody really gives a fuck what you think about me. I did for a time. I really did. I cared because I would say that you sort of catalyzed a period in time where I felt very, look here, BS, you done just typed your last motherfucking thing in here. Don't come back. This middle finger means not welcome. It's kind of like Dougie's swastika. It means not fucking welcome here. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't like you anymore, right? You come over here high and mighty with a name like BS. Who the fuck do you think you are? And you got a pair of eyeballs like a fucking like a drama starting bitch. Like you're just looking for some shit to get into. Don't never see you in anything fixing some shit. Just running around with those big ass eyes giving your fucking opinion. Well, you know what? I feel grateful for you that you found people that give a shit. Because, hey, I found the same thing. Yeah, that's not what I'm upset about, Carl. I'm upset that you did the things, and we talked about this, bro. I'm upset that you thought everyone needed to hear your version of what my dad did to me. But I got over that, bro. I got over that before I even knew there was a Carl in the world. If I cared about what you've recorded of me, I would have stopped talking to you a long time. See, I did understand that the way you were the other day probably had something to do with the fact that you've probably still been emailing Altitude Films, and my wife has illegally made it to where I cannot get in that anymore. And then we have Penny at Benny Key's work email. I don't know what you people are doing to my emails, but when I forget the password or I get timed out and the session expires and I go back in there and I put the right fucking passcode in, but then the only way I can retrieve a password is by it getting sent to your email at truecrimecommentary.com or at gmail.com, I would have never made you or my wife the only motherfucker that I had to contact to get it back into my own fucking house. Why would I do that? You play too fucking much, right? Now, this is the thing. Whatever you think you found in my email that you've locked me out of, Fizzle and Krystle, be very careful. Because you can show it. I would give a fuck less about that. But you be very careful about what you don't want me to say, right? You had left you well alone. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, because that makes it all better, Carl. And I love you, bro. I love you. I do, bro. I love everybody really except for BS and Krystle. I do, bro. I love you. You nurtured me as well. And I think that I understood the prism of YouTube. Like, it's godly one way, but as soon as it hits Earth and then flops into the YouTube, it spins upside down and lands on its top, right? I mean, can you imagine every airplane taking off right side up but landing upside down? Oh, God. Everyone would be a kamikaze, right? I knew that I could go back to places where people didn't really necessarily care for me. And I could create a dialogue. And I could help nourish it to a place that wasn't toxic anymore. I didn't manipulate you, bro. I showed you something different than you'd been shown before. And we liked it. Bro, the way you would laugh on the phone with me and the way I know I would laugh with you is not the same laugh Carl puts on for the internet. It was a genuine, it wasn't your internet laugh. I have an internet laugh too. And we were genuinely connected, man. I told people that I had been making money with and doing a lot of stuff with. I like Carl. I do like Carl. I still like Carl. That doesn't mean I have to be in love with every single thing Carl does at any given time. He doesn't like what I do sometimes, probably a lot of times. But I care about what happens to Carl. I would never want to, at this point in my life, and I'm not going to be hypocritical and say, there weren't times I didn't say things to try to hurt Carl's feelings or anyone's feelings, because quite naturally, we all do that. What I'm saying is I wouldn't do it to you now. I have no fever. I have no reason to want to see anyone in a constant state of misery behind something I'm doing. Right? I'm just not into it anymore. And then the fact that I'm not into it anymore doesn't mean I'm not into it any less. What it means is that good, bad, or indifferent, I've grown from that plateau, that spot. Maybe it's not a plateau, maybe it's a peak, I don't know, a valley. I've grown away from that. Maybe that means I'm growing right into something else equally as toxic. I don't know. Hopefully not. But I think that where it boils down and spills onto the oven top, and where I'm going to leave it tonight is that my wife and I, there was times she would be interested in things that were happening on the internet, while supporting me saying things like certain behaviors promote sex trafficking. My wife is a fucking professional sex trafficker. A professional. Hey, Carl, you know what? Snapping out of it is really easy to do when you can snap, or when you don't have the muck to try to get it out of. Because over here in America, we say shit like, he got it out the mud. I'm trying to dig it out the quicksand, homie. Fuck the mud. I'm trying to get it out the quicksand. Now, maybe if you would have told me at 13 to snap out of it, by the age of 44, I would have snapped out of it. But since the age of 13, chemically or physiologically, psychologically, whatever it is, when I get faced with immense pressure, stress, or depression, my mind immediately goes to one place. Now, please don't think for a moment that I have not tried to snap out of it. I snap out of it. And maybe I'd do a live stream, Carl, and I'd snap out of it for 3 or 4 hours while I drug on one, because I don't want to be alone when I turn it off. It's not that I don't want to not be alone the way women think men don't want to be alone. I don't want it to be quiet. Because then when it's quiet, I can hear the moans of my wife. I can hear my son crying because he can hear the moans of my wife with other men in her bed that I bought. It is a hard thing, man. It's a hard thing. But then you got cunts like Nicolina that make it look really easy to endure. Right? Really easy to endure. I mean, like, Nicolina didn't want to turn her abuser in, her attacker. She just wanted to let him make it so that later on, someone could physically put their hands on it, right? I don't care about that. Oh, you didn't need to turn him in because now he's homeless and on drugs, right? Well, maybe if you turned him in, he could be in a penitentiary somewhere getting his rubber band stretched 20 times its size. That would be a good trade-off, probably, right? Like, mind your fucking business, bitch. For real. Like, You done probably already fucked off the most precious years of your children's life, but this your last child. Fucking take hold. Take hold, right? I didn't come here and do no whole bunch of complaining. I almost got the whole back of my head scattered across the fucking sliding glass door today, right? I had to look at what was my interaction in all of that. I know it's there. I know my part is present there. It just doesn't glare at me as strongly as the lies my mom's told, the lies my wife has told. You know, I called my dad today because in running, I lost both of my phones. I just bought a brand new phone last night. Ran away from both my phones. Dropped them, I don't even know where. So for the first 45 minutes after the event, no one would let me use the phone. I was barefoot, my feet were bleeding. I was sweating like Krystle in church. That was a pun, that was a play on horror in church. Sweating like Krystle and her mom in church. And it wasn't until, let me tell you what, you know what's so fucking strange? It was all Hispanics that did what they did today. And it was only Hispanics that helped me in my time of need. The man at the Metro, he had been closed for a half hour. He's cashing out his drawer. He was done. I'm banging on the door and he just makes that, you know, that gesture across your neck that lets you know, time's out. It's over. Cut it off. And I said, please, sir, can you come here and listen to me for just one moment? And I said, I need to use your phone. Someone just tried to kill me. And he said, no. And I pulled out a wad of money. 13, 14,000. And I said, I will let you hold this money while I use the phone. I said, this black car right here is my car. Here's the keys to it. You can hold it. That man opened the door, let me use the phone, and gave me a great discount on a replacement phone. A young Hispanic boy, couldn't have been more than 18, running through these alleys because somebody is hunting me with a gun they don't know how to work. And I see this Hispanic boy. And when I first saw him, I did not recognize him. I knew this boy. This boy used to call my friend that set me up to be killed today, used to call her mom. I had no idea something had transpired between the two of them. Oops, somebody's shooting. And now he wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. I probably look wild-eyed and crazy. I jumped his fence and ran directly towards him. And this boy did not flinch or bat an eye, nor did his cousin. They took a hold of the situation. They started surveillance. They put me in a car. They'd move me around. They would, they saved my life today after I saved my own life. Because it was the fight or flight. I chose to fight and then flight. Had I not hit this man in his face, probably would have actuated the gun and shot me somewhere. This man tried 3 different times to literally shoot me. He wasn't reaching for my pockets. He wasn't taking off my jewelry. He was trying to actively shoot me in the face after having actively snuck up behind me to shoot me in the back of the head for $12,000 or $13,000. Sad thing is, it's not the first. Only because it's not the first, it probably won't be the last. My own wife invited someone into our home to shoot me in the back. In some kind of way with my sick, there I go shoot again, sick, twisted mind at that time, I was only mad at the person who wasn't able to shoot me, which was a woman, because I had manhandled her husband that brought the gun, and he had dropped it out the back of his trousers onto the floor, and I didn't never see it until she's holding it with both hands, trying to rack around into the gun. And I just showed my back to her and flinched, like, here it comes. And she couldn't get it to work. So I ran by her, and as I did, I punched her so fucking hard, I bet her face still hurts. Oh yeah. So it won't be the first and it won't be the last. But I did realize today something about myself. I went back to the house with a fillet knife. Well, I didn't have the fillet knife. Miguel had the fillet knife. I had a pipe wrench, and his cousin had a fucking big old box end wrench, like a 1.5 inch wrench, just a huge, like, you know, big fucking semi wrench. They stayed in the car. Well, actually, Miguel got out and kind of stood there as a show of muscle with me, for me. I went back to that house because I was just positive that my 4 friends were in there and they had been robbed, and maybe even worse. And I get there and I bang on the door with that wrench, and they come out and they're all upset at me. They acted like, 2 of them acted like they didn't even know what had happened. Oh, there was a tussle. There was quite a tussle. So, big boy, Eric, when you're back in the Beto unit and somebody is pumping the coal in the 2-hole, you can only be mad at you, bro. Because I'm gonna put you back in prison. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna put you back in. I'm a civilian now. I've been a civilian for, well, way longer than you've been a gang member. And again, you're a gang member to a fake prison society. Because those homosexuals know that when they come home, they can't operate like that in the real world. So they shuck that off like Doug did, right? Yeah. You'd be homosexual in prison and then come home and sleep with girls again and lie to them, right? We all got the same problems. I wouldn't even been in that situation had it not been for the fact that I was trying to protect a friend that has protected me. I have a friend who has done so much for me in the past 4 days. You want to know what? While all of this was going on and I was hiding in the back of a truck, because the people that tried to shoot me were still cruising up and down the streets looking for me. My brother, and I say it, and I feel great about saying it. My brother Pinky, without even being asked, shows up on the scene looking for me. Pinky has a condition where he's had his whole neck fused together. He's got severe degrading of the bone in his pelvis bone. And that man and his wife drove to the shithole of Dallas, where all of the first 48 happens, knowing that if those people decide to shoot this time, Pinky's gonna be the last one that can get out of the way. He didn't care about that. I didn't get an opportunity to actually speak with him on the scene because by the time I realized what was going on and that he was here, because dude Miguel was like, that's a black dude and his girl. I was like, what kind of car? He said, a black car. And I said, that's my brother. I jumped out and my feet are so hamburgered on the bottom. I couldn't walk to him. I couldn't scream loud enough. I couldn't get his attention. So he went all down by the house and just sat there. He just sat there. And the people got scared. The people who wanted to kill me for $13,000, $14,000, they got scared of his presence. So he leaves the scene, goes back home. I don't have a phone to call him on. I don't know his number by heart. When I get here, we're there. Pinky is very upset, visibly upset. And I'm like, bro, why are you hollering at me, bro? Somebody just tried to blow my head off and was unsuccessful. And you're hollering at me. And he immediately corrected his tone and he sat down. And his shoulders shrank. His head went down. I was on the phone with Pinky when the man tried to shoot me. He knew what was going on. He knew there was a strong possibility I could be dead or worse. And he came to see about his little brother. Got a brother that's a cop that wouldn't do that for me, even if he was on duty. He almost cried. He said, I thought you were dead. He said, after you dropped the phone, someone in that house grabbed the phone and moved it. And all we could hear was running water. He said, I stayed on that phone listening for any sign of you for an hour until somebody realized the phone was on, I guess, and turned it off. Friends like that will go to that extent for you, oh God. They're more rather than 1 in a million. And I am thankful for him. Me and my boy, we haven't always got along. We've had great disagreements, spent much time disbanded. Let me tell you what, that man will always put clean clothes on my back and feet and always put a meal in my stomach and will always give me a place to lay my head. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. Pinky has shown me what true love is. No homo. It doesn't matter what he thinks I'm doing. It doesn't diminish my value to him that the internet thinks this, that, or the other. He doesn't care about that. He cares about making sure I'm okay, even at the detriment of him and his own wife. You're not gonna find that in every lifetime. And when you do, you better hold on to it. Because it's a lot different than a cokehead best friend like Natalie Rogers, who, gets involved in people's marriages and brings old men around for my wife to fuck while leaving cocaine on the ground for her children to partake in. We're not the same. Pinky and Natalie aren't the same, Krystle. Pinky and Natalie aren't the same, Krystle. You are low-rate, second-day trash to them. They have you around as a jester. You're a jester. And how can they feel good about introducing one of their friends to a hooker with herpes? I don't know. Because you're not Mother Teresa. In fact, I don't even think you know how to spell Jesus. Do you? No. You survive off of other people's amens. Anyways, R.I.P. Big Pokey, Houston legend. Love all the individually with the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Even if the woman decides she wants to sell her body, it's still injecting funds into the network of sex trafficking. My name is Benjamin Lindsey, and I'm here today with my right hand up saying, I'm married to a sex trafficker. I'm married to a woman that's probably smart enough to manipulate other people to sleep with people for money. She's also an action junkie. So, let's just hope the courts see it the same way. Oh, she's a great mother. But she's done more sex trafficking than she's ever done mothering. Can I get an amen from the jury? And Carl, I'll tell you what, bro. Not mad at you, bro. At all. But it's very easy to snap out of when you've got people around, beneath, above, snapping too. You want to see someone snap out of something? Don't snap into something old. Snap into something new. Snap into something borrowed. Or even snap into something blue. Don't be the reason someone hurts themselves. Anybody. Yeah, and it's even sadder when they sell their bodies for money and then use the money to put gas in vehicles to go buy drugs. You're missing the point here, Krystle. You should have just traded it for drugs and cut the middleman out. You could have put middlemen out of business. Yep. Anyways, you know what's really sick, and I'm going to close with this. After Josh cheated on Krystle with hooker galore, my wife, who wasn't my wife at that time, I didn't even know she was what she was doing, where she was at. She's working for her friend Kim, who has now since moved on to Montana. She left Josh, and the very next day started up conversation with Shelby, the cross-dressing homosexual pimp, and came to her friend in an atmosphere of boast. Like, hey, oh, who you on the phone with, Krystle? Oh, Shelby. Whoa. You mean Shelby, the cross-dressing pimp that Benny almost killed when he had the baton in his butt, Shelby? Yeah, I know. That's just, look here. If I see you make one more fucking phone call to him, you don't have a job here anymore. And then she called me the next day. And then a star was born.